Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are on chapter 7, text 16. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Right. So, in the previous session, we read about the four kinds of men, and now it continues here. Let's read the purport. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukri Sukratina, Suk, Sukratina, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are four classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for the devotional service. So, pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus. It's written in Sanskrit. I will just read the English version. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of the pure devotee, of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them, devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goal. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotee. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress and at that time associate with pure devotees and become, in their distress, devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of the Godhead by grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. Yeah. You have to transcend all this before you come to the pure devotional service. You have to overcome your four material desires, four types of material goods. Okay, let's move to text 17. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Let's read the purport. Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in the knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord and of the four orders. The devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. And when one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So, by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker, after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of God is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. Wow, amazing. Let's read text 18. All these pure devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Wow. Being engaged, being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and the most perfect goal. Purport. It is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. The Lord says that all are magnanimous because anyone who comes to the Lord for any purpose is called a Mahatma or a great soul. The devotees who want some benefit out of the devotional service are accepted by the Lord because there is an exchange of affection. Out of affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit, and when they get it, they become so satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. But मतलब भगवान को भी पता है. But the devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. Such a devotee cannot live a second without contacting or serving the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is very fond of his devotee and cannot be separated from him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68, the Lord says, Sadhavo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tu atva aham madhyantat madhyan madhyanat te na janati jananti naham tebhyo manang api. The devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in the hearts of the devotees. The devotee does not know anything beyond me, and I also cannot forget the devotee. There is a very intimate relationship between me and the pure devotees. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of the spiritual touch, and therefore they are very much dear to me. Let's move to text 19. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Let's read the purport. The living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals, after many, many births, may actually become situated in the transcendental pure knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of the spiritual realization. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism, but when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to Him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that he is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from him. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual vari- variegatedness, variegatedness, and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus, he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudev or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudev precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrendered great souls are very rare. This verse is very nicely explained in the third chapter, verses 14 and 15 of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. In the Chandogya Upanishad 5.1.15, it is said, I am saying in English version, in the body of a living being, neither the power to speak, nor the power to see, nor the power to hear, and nor the power to think is the prime factor. It is life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vasudev, or the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is the primary entity in everything. In this body, there are powers of speaking, of seeing, of hearing, of mental activities, etc. But these are not important if not related to Supreme Lord. And because Vasudev is all pervading and everything is Vasudev, the devotee surrenders in full knowledge. Beautiful. Let's move to text 20. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. The biggest example is Diwali Puja. Let's read the purport. Those who are freed from all material contamination surrender unto Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by the external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desires or is full of material desires or desires liberation from the material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudev and worship him. As stated in the Bhagavatam 2.3.10, less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in the lower modes of nature, ignorance, and passion, and therefore worship various demigods. Wow. Okay. Following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal, but a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided because in Vedic literature there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. For example, a deceased, diseased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charita Tamrata, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhrataya. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. It depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. Correct. Let's move to text 21. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Oh, let's read the purport. God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if a person desires to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have some such facilities from the material demigods, the Supreme Lord, as Super Soul, is in everyone's heart, understands and gives facilities to such persons. As the Supreme Father of all living entities, he does not interfere with their independence, but gives all the facilities so that they can fulfill their material desires. Some may ask why the all powerful God gives facilities to the living entities for enjoying this material world. And so lets them fall into the trap of the illusory energy. Yeah, of course. The answer is that if the Supreme Lord, as a super soul, does not give such facility, then there is no meaning to independence. So there is always independence, or the choice is left with us whether we want the material facilities or not. Okay. Right. Therefore, he gives everyone full independence, whatever one likes. But his ultimate instruction we find in the Bhagwat Geeta is one should give up all other engagements and fully surrender unto him. That will make men happy. Ultimately, only this surrender is going to give you peace and happiness and not the material things that we desire and are, sanctioned by the God. Both the living entities and the demigods are subordinate to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, persons who are distressed in the material world go to the demigods, as they are advised in the Vedic literature. A person wanting some particular thing may worship such and such a demigod, such and such a demigod. Okay. For example, a diseased person is recommended to worship the sun god. A person wanting education may worship the goddess of learning Saraswati. And a person wanting a beautiful wife may worship the goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. In this way, there are recommendations in the Shastras, that is Vedic scriptures, for different modes of worship of different demigods. And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from that particular demigod. And so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of the devotional attitude of the living entity towards a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. Correct. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because He is the Supreme Lord or the Super Soul who is present in the hearts of all living entities, Krishna gives impetus to man to worship certain demigods. Yes. The demigods are actually different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. In the Vedic literature, it is stated the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is also present within the heart of the demigod. Therefore, he arranges through the demigod to fulfill the desires of living entity. But both demigod and living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent. That's right. Let's end here. You can start with text 22 tomorrow. We've changed the time to 8 a.m. Let's end with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's do some Radha Jap. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Just stop the recording.